Hello.
Okay,
Oh, I can't hear you, but
she's on mute.
Sorry.
Ned's
there you
back.
go.
I just
okay.
just before we started, I was gonna say, did anybody see the meteor shower? And there's some sort of weird thing dancing around in the sky too.
Call that the sun in this part of the world.
What's that?
Yeah,
I said we call that the sun in this part of the world now that the haze is cleared.
yeah, no, I didn't, no, we don't get, unfortunately, to see a lot of that down in the city. It's too bright,
Oh.
but
I know what you're talking about, though.
I did hear it, like, it's pretty cool.
Weird thing. Yeah.
And fun fact for the day, did you know that cruise lines are actually doing trips when the solar eclipse is happening in Europe? They're strategically planning going on vacation for the weeks that the solar eclipse will be in Europe. And they're doing sales and stuff on it. There you go.
There's
Okay.
That does not
fact of
shock
the
me.
day.
Any opportunity to make some money, they'll do it.
Good. Okay, so since we seem to have a lot of Otter AI on here, I think one of the topics we should talk about is how is everybody using AI? Is anybody using AI?
I use a little
And the
bit, but
people
it's a tool in the toolbox.
So, Elroy, I know you're using it through your website.
Yeah,
Or
well,
how else?
with Lofty, the AI is it responds to leads for me, so I can see who's responding back quick, and then I can grab that lead if they're responding. And it does a good job of following up down the road when I forget to send an email. It'll do that for me. So it's
Okay,
a tool
and
in
that's
the
built right in.
toolbox.
Right. Okay. So are you using AI in any other manner?
My listing descriptions are all started with AI. I'm terrible
Okay.
at writing listing descriptions and stuff like that. I'm terrible at it. So I'll use AI, even on my Facebook posts, I'll use it and then I'll edit it.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, because the biggest thing is you've got, if you're gonna use AI, you've got to do it in such a way that it reflects you and that you also check it before just automatically
Oh,
sending it out.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
It'll put out some really wrong stuff.
Okay, and then how else is anybody using it? You guys using AI at all? No?
I don't know if I'm using it.
Okay. Okay. And obviously the people with Otter AI on the screen I'm looking at must be, I don't know what they're doing with it after the fact, but be interesting to understand how they're using that. I'm gonna actually, one of the things that how you can use AI is if you do a blog, if you're looking at doing any kind of podcast, if you're looking at trying to do any kind of communication. So I've been playing around with it, and I'm not the most advanced when it comes to that. But my new Google phone has Gemini built right into it. So I've been playing around with Gemini, and each phone will have its own system built into it. So this is what I decided I would try. Let me just give you some, just so you can see the power of this. And I am definitely going to look at really diving into this and figuring out how we can get you to use this better. So just on my phone, it's just a simple Gemini. I think there's Meta AI, there's ChatGPT. So the interesting part is that with this particular scenario, all I did is I went in and I just said, what's happening in the Ontario real estate market, provide me some trends. And literally what I got back was, so I got back a complete, and Michelle's going to bring it up on the screen. I got I got a complete understanding of what the market was doing. So, and then what the trick is. So here's what the first thing that I got back. Okay, all I asked for was an overview of the, what's happening in the Ontario real estate market. It gave me everything from housing affordability and pricing, interest rate and mortgage environment, supply and demand dynamics, the rental market, future trends and outlook. Okay. And from that, just that alone, if you're looking at being, finding information to send out in your newsletters, like, because you all have access to the Prime Agent newsletters, I always get the question, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know how, what to do with it. This took 10 seconds. Took me longer to type in what I wanted to give it, what it wanted it to give me, than it did to give it to me. So then a friend of mine that I saw, he said, but beyond that, he said, the other thing they just added is now you can go in and ask it again to do the research. So then I went in and I said, provide me the Mississauga housing market, historical trends in 10-year, including graphs. Okay. Can you scroll? Does this give you the whole thing? Okay. Gives a whole, and it talks about, goes back into history. It talks about everything moving forward. It goes right into average prices. It goes into what years. It shows the difference. And then if you keep going.
Mind you, I got this email on a train and I didn't realize how long the email.
Right. But if you go through, it then starts putting it into actual graphs, charts. And so on the whole thing is when I looked at this and I thought, my gosh, are we not taking advantage of this the right way? Like, if you're working a certain area, I get, people that are working a farm area, people that are working a condo.
You can narrow things to
Like,
that area.
you can use this to be be the information provider. Like even Nancy, and Elroy, you guys could use this just to talk about the supplying, what's happened in our area over the history wise and what's the projection for growth, and everybody could use this in a format. Like you're working a certain area. This is what consumers are looking for. I've asked you guys to really work on, your youth. I get, well, I don't know what to put on it. All you got to do is go in, ask it some bunch of questions, not saying you have to put all this information out there, but there's a lot here that all of a sudden you could just sit down and do a YouTube talk, just talking about this. You could do 4 or 5 a week, just pick different areas. And it's as simple as asking the questions. And then it's, there's another button that says research. You can actually even dive into it further where you can really narrow it down. And to the point where it actually will do, if you do your YouTube, so you decide you want to do your YouTube and you go through all this, you can then put the YouTube video back in to AI and it'll liven it up for you. It could critique it. It'll highlight certain things. It'll give you ideas on how, if you wanted to change it a little bit. So is anybody using this at all? Julia, you want to explain to us what you're doing with it?
So I've been using AI longer than I thought. So a couple of years ago, I used to have an e-brochure that it's like you put your photos in and then it flips pages, it's like a flip book. But this particular software I had, once you put the photos in, it actually reads the photos and starts the brochure for you. It reads it and starts it like a realtor. And then, of course, you have to adjust it. I don't use it anymore because I've just found it very expensive. Because I think I was paying for one subscription where a whole office could use it. I think it was I don't know, 6,000 a year or something. But it was tremendous because you could come up with a really good brochure in so little time. The other thing I use is called Notebook LM, and when you're using AI, I think everybody is looking at it who hasn't used AI and think, well, how do I know the information I'm getting is real? And so I started using Notebook LM on a committee where I'm on a TREB committee for the missing middle, and they supply us with all of these particular links from the City of Toronto, the agenda, other items that they feel is good data, and you can put all that data, the links, anything in your file, and then ask questions and AI will only answer the questions related to what information you feed it. So let's say you wanted to do something on the TREB statistics, you could actually get the real stuff that came from TREB rather than other people's interpretations that might be on the internet, which AI will read and may not be completely accurate. And that way you can ask it questions and build your own narrative off of the exact stuff that we are supposed to be reading to use, which I think is a really good tool to give you some comfort because, once you use AI, of course, you have to vet it. You have to make sure all the numbers it gives you are accurate, all the graphs that you get are accurate. And so if you get to feed that in, then you know that there's a better chance of accuracy. And Notebook LM, I've never even subscribed to it. I've been using the free version for 6 months. So
Okay, good.
I think it's a really valuable tool, especially if you're a little bit anxious about what you're going to get. I also use like ChatGPT or Notebook AI, Notebook LM to organize my thoughts. Sometimes when I need to start my day and I don't know what to do, I put my go-to list in it, and it creates my agenda for the day. Like it's ridiculous about some of the things you can use it for. It's just so many options that saves so much time. And I know what happens sometimes. You sit down at your desk, you have so many things to do, and you don't know where to start. And sometimes you waste time just getting started. That's me and 100%. And I just put it in there, and within minutes, I've got my agenda for the day.
Wonderful, thank you. Just so that I know that it was on the screen, but it was just to give you an idea on the type of detail that this gave me is when I asked for the projected average house prices from 2026 to 2035, it gave me an average price baseline scenario with the current construction pace and another scenario that said average price accelerated supply scenario, double construction pace based on the government talking about doubling the amount of construction that they're going to do. And it's very interesting how the numbers for the average price changed. So again, you can go through this kind of material and then make it your own and talk about it, right? So are you really utilizing this, understanding that the consumers are looking for information, right? And this is the kind of information that you can just do all your research, make your notes, and just talk about it. And it happens in seconds, minutes, if you want to really vet it and get graphs and everything. Okay. And I just, based on our discussions, I just don't think we're utilizing it enough. And I know that we get questions on, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to post. It's all out there. It's just setting the time aside. And if you're not sure how to use it, then we're gonna really dive into it more. So if you're interested in learning more about it, then, reach out, because there are definitely ways, and that there are, as Elroy said, he's using it as a lead generator to help move his possibility of prospects forward. Lots of people are using it that way. Okay, not saying that you have to understand it all. There's systems out there, right? Lofty is one of those systems. There's other systems out there that you can utilize. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. It's already being used by thousands of realtors, but it is definitely a way that I think we need to look at, just as that YouTube. We still need to be building on that. And Elizabeth really worked hard at hers, and she actually got a bona fide lead right from them finding her YouTube station, where she was just talking about first-time buyer experiences and things like that. So consumers are looking for that information. We know that. And I just thought, this is, as I say, a buddy of mine was showing me how he uses this. And I thought, well, I better try it. It's on my phone. So just something to think about. If you're not utilizing it, then maybe we do one session where it's strictly about, here's how people in real estate are utilizing it. And I think we did something similar with that one session that we did, that was more about the YouTube. And what was that?
Yeah, we've done sessions on YouTube, we've done sessions on AI, but I'm definitely guilty of using it and then not using it. And I went back to it. I went back to using ChatGPT yesterday after I hadn't opened it in a while. And I was laughing at myself thinking, okay, if I had done this last week, all my tasks would have been done by now. But at least I'm using it. So went back to it yesterday, cranked out probably 3 or 4 Instagram, Facebook captions. I had the content, but I didn't really know what to say about it, and said, okay, this is the topic, write something about like tips on listing during a buyer's market. And it gave me everything. I read through it. I was like, oh, that's good. Or I want to change this word, copy paste. And there was my post.
Hunter?
Hey, Scott. Yeah, the AI, I've played a tiny bit with it as well. More on what Michelle's mentioning, with thumbnails for YouTube, getting ideas for things, a little bit with ChatGPT. But as you were discussing here, I thought there's AI is in absolutely everything. It's not just for scripting. It's more like what Julie said. She does her calendar. She summarizes some of the workload she's doing. There's different courses and things out there. Not that I'm suggesting any of us take them. They're really long and winded, but there's probably like 10 premium platforms for it. What I'd be curious in knowing is, are there, most of them are paid for. I mean, you get to a certain point and they want you to pay for credits, tokens, so that you have 100 credits and that might get you through the month. Have you run into any of that, Michelle or Scott, with the AI you've been playing with?
No.
Pay for AI, or are you just using free stuff?
But I'm just using the free stuff because I'm a huge advocate. I would tell everybody if what I was using was paid for, and it's not. With ChatGPT, I do know what you're talking about in like there's limits and stuff on it. For example, with ChatGPT, you can only upload 5 photos per day. And then after that, they want you to pay for it.
Yeah,
based on all our discussions, I don't. Go ahead.
I was in the middle of doing a listing, and I think I was using Scott's one, or Gemini, and it was great. I got halfway through my listing and it says, buy credits or come back next week kind of thing. And, that was my sort of introduction into trying to do my first listing description. So what I was going to suggest, you said that you guys were working on it and to reach out, maybe on the Wednesday sessions, we could pull up one company each time and give one example, not go into great depth, but just give like Scott just did now, do a 15-minute on Gemini, and an example of what you use it for, because I mean, you can type out a video that you want to, you can script the video, and you can just punch it into your computer now and get an AI video. It's obviously cartoon or it's B-roll, and you pick your voice, and it's done for you. Well, that's not very engaging, but that's as far as it's gone. You can also there's tools out there with AI that you can pull you make a script, you do a video, and you've got a lot of hums and oohs in it, or you said Markham instead of Mississauga. And how do you go back and fix that? Well, with AI, you can have AI read your script, and then you just go into the script and you delete Mississauga and put Markham in, and then you say, okay, upload it, and it mimics your voice and it puts it in to the point that you can't even tell that AI has replaced a word in your video. I mean, it's that strong, it's that powerful, right? But there's just so many avenues for it that it's overwhelming.
And I think that's the issue is, first off, like everybody will have, depending on the platform you're on, right? So I have a Google phone, so my Google phone has Gemini. If you have Apple, I think you've got some other thing. If you've got, like, you can get ChatGPT, there's Meta, so there are a few of the different ones, and it's basically like a CRM. It's only as good as what you're going to use. So if you have something that's on your phone, then that's more than likely the one that you're going to use, because it's readily available right there and then. And so the stuff that I just did it on my phone, and it automatically then said, where do you want to save it? Where do you want to post it? Where do you want to share it? And so it was simplified. But so absolutely, I think, looking at the different programs, we can certainly get some highlights on them. What I don't want to see is people all of a sudden, you forget about doing real estate because now you're trying to be an AI expert, and that's not what this is for. But I do believe that one of the things we have to look at is, how are realtors making money with AI? How are they saving time? What programs are they using, such as Lofty, which has that built in? I think it's text to text, Elroy, that it is, right? I think it's a text response.
Yeah, and then there's an AI
Yeah,
chatbot
it's
as
a
well.
text.
But
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy.
Has anybody heard about a AI program called Grok, I think it's called?
Yes, you're nodding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Because
it do?
I heard that one is actually not bad. Yes, me, the
Yeah,
one that is completely opposed to AI, knows about that.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm curious. What do you mean not bad?
Pardon
yeah,
me?
it's on Twitter.
What do you mean not bad? Like, it's because it's easy to use, or because it's safer, or?
I was just wondering because my spouse used Grok to write a program to do day trading, and he used Grok for that.
Okay. And again, there's going to be lots of them out there, right? So we'll have to investigate some of them, but I'm really the ones that are going to be the easiest to use are the ones that you have access to right away. And so first thing would be check on your phones and just see what you've got, because you'd be amazed on what you actually have already built into your provider, whoever that may be. Okay. But I think then the next thing we do is we got to look at how, and if anybody is aware of, a coach or trainer, or you've been online and seen some kind of person that's doing a YouTube explanation on how realtors are best, utilizing it. I think the first question we'll do is we'll ask AI, right? We'll just ask AI, how are realtors utilizing AI to obtain clients? Actually, I may have already done that.
I was gonna say, you want me to do it right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just try it and see what it tells us. Which one are you using? ChatGPT? Okay. Let's see, I may have done that.
Okay. To
I just put, how are realtors using AI to prospect for clients?
There you go. So AI chatbots and virtual assistants, AI voice agents for call, predictive analytics and data mining. So that's trying to revive old leads, hot lead targeting, both things that Lofty does. Automated outreach, so there's your email and SMS. AI workforces for agents, so specialized AI agents. Enhancing listings and marketing. Oh, and there's a quick summary table.
Okay, so. All right, so there are, definitely there are, but I like the bottom line what it says there. It just basically says AI isn't replacing realtors, it's empowering them, you know, from capturing and qualifying more leads faster, which Elroy talked about. Creating automated, you know, admin heavy tasks. AI gives agents that extra horsepower to shine when it counts. So I think, yeah, we're gonna have to dig into this more and really get specific on how you can use it. And I know that with Lofty, and if you're looking to have that automated system with your leads that come into your website, then really we need to understand how we can all, you know, who is utilizing it. As Elroy said, it is working for him. Okay, so if you're not utilizing that, we got to figure out why not. Okay. But then maybe between now, so maybe next week we can work on, we'll come up with, you know, a little bit more of a presentation on how individually you could use it. And if anybody is gonna, you know, want to dive in and do a little bit of research on it as well, what you find out, you can send it to Michelle. We'll sort of put together an actual, you know, we'll spend half an hour next week just going through, here are the top things that agents and how they're actually utilizing. Would that make sense? Yes, no, maybe?
Bunch of
Okay.
blank screens. Thank you, Julia, for nodding.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we're all distracted by looking at ChatGPT right now.
I know. Yeah, it should have been one of those disclaimers. Okay, I don't want you to do it right now. Wait till after the session.
Guys,
I had to
no,
log into
that's
mine
all.
because I got a new phone last week and it logged out at half my services and I'm like, oh, I gotta log back in. What's the password for that?
Yeah. Well, I bet you AI could store your passwords for you or tell you what they were.
Well, I laughed. I put in a password. It was the wrong one, and then I hit new password. I put in a new password. It said, "Oh, you can't reuse a password." Ah, now I know what my old one was.
All the time.
I know, crazy. All right, so what's going? Yep.
On any of our listings, any listings, when you pull up on Real, after the MLS number, there's an arrow. Have you ever clicked on it?
Yeah.
It's an AI telling you about the house.
Right. So
Every problem.
Nasir was just saying, if you look at any of your
Any
listings,
listing. Yeah.
right, any listings on the right-hand side, just under the price, right, just under the
After
price,
the MLS number.
after the MLS number, there's a little arrow.
Yeah.
That arrow is AI generated talking about the listing.
So I'll play it if you want me to.
So if you've never used it or seen it, it's there. And so that's how they're using AI to generate, you know, a description about that particular listing.
First I pressed, I thought it would be going to the next listing.
Yeah.
But it started talking to me. And,
Yeah. I did the same thing. I thought, what the heck is this arrow?
Right?
Yeah. So that's what we'll work on for next week. All right. So what's going on in the market?
Yes, I have the motor working on mine.
Tell me. Nobody's out there?
We're all here.
Well, I worked on an offer for a townhouse in Kitchener last night and there were 8 offers.
Wow. In Kitchener.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
You
had
didn't put
something
an offer
similar
on.
happen. We had something similar happen when I was on vacation. Rob threw an offer on a place and 3 others showed up. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, on the market 60 days and all of a sudden 3 other offers show up out of the blue. Like everybody's sitting
Yeah,
on the
so
fence waiting for the next guy to make a move.
Yeah, so this particular property, 2-story condo townhouse, finished basement, older, single car parking in front. Last few sales were 510, 512, 520. They had redone the whole place. It was one of the older ones that were baseboard heating. So when they redid the whole place, they actually put a furnace in, air conditioning in, did all the proper duct work, listed it at 400. And basically no offers for a week. 8 offers showed up. I'm doing the home inspection on Tuesday.
Congratulations. Your offer one.
Our offer won. But it's just interesting. When I was talking with the agent, he said, Scott, I can tell you, and he's been in the business 30 years. He says, you never know what's going to happen with this kind of stuff. I said, I know. And you got a good property and it's ridiculously low compared to the last bit. And you could have had nobody show up, or you could have had, like you said, he ended up with everybody sort of showed up last minute. And it just got down to, you know, a couple offers, right, as it normally does. I just happen to have a client that's got transferred there and it's already started working there, and it's an hour and a bit drive each way, and he's not liking that. So an hour and a half, I guess, one way. So, but just to give you, you know, just that there are buyers out there, right?
They're coming. Man.
Right? And just but price is everything. Price is not saying that this, you know, that idea of asking lower to drive the price up is always going to work. But depending on how the product shows the price range you're in, it can. So what else is everybody experiencing out there?
In that Lakeview, it got the offer, Pickering didn't.
Yeah.
They did the same thing.
Yeah, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but there are buyers are out there. What are you guys seeing in what are you guys seeing in cottage country, waterfront, small town stuff? Still seeing people heading up? Yeah, Julia?
I just came from cottage country up near north of Kingston, and my girlfriend's an agent there, and she got into the business about 1.5 years ago, and she's done like 3 deals this week. So it's heating up there. She said the prices aren't up as high as they were previously, but because she knows the market really well there. But and I was out with her Friday night at an event, and she got 2 leads just working the room. So there's people thinking about it in cottage country.
Good.
I'm getting some listings in September. I've got 3 condos, I think. I've got a listing presentation on Friday, but it's a past client, so I'm pretty certain it's mine. But I think people are thinking September, October is going to be the time to do things.
Yeah. I'm getting the same sense. I've had two of my clients call and say, you know what, this waiting game is just becoming frustrating, so let's just do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm getting that sense too, talking to sellers. Some of them have mortgages come and due this fall because those really cheap ones, and
Yeah.
they're thinking might be time to sell now and move north and get rid of our mortgage. Got a few like that.
Well, actually, I talked to a couple agents yesterday and exactly the same thing. People are now that are in that position are going, you know, I don't want to wait anymore. You know, because some of them have been really waiting for a couple of years, right? Everybody was sort of waiting for the market to bounce back. The interest rates were supposedly going to fall drastically, and that was going to drive the market. But again, we don't know until you have those big outside influencers that screwed everything up for us, so to speak. Now we've got to look at, you know, the reality is people are getting frustrated and they're just going like, okay, I got to move on. I got to do something. Knowing that, really, really important. You get back in touch with any leads that you had over the last 18 months. Get back in touch with your database because, you know, somebody in your database that said, yeah, we're going to wait for a couple of years. Don't be surprised all of a sudden they're going like, yeah, we don't want to wait. We've decided it's time. So get back in touch with your database. Get out there and see them, you know, get out there and network with them, network with people. It's just start those conversations, get out there and participate, be involved. That's all it takes. And if you are going to go out to any kind of event, if you are going to do some networking, use AI to do your research just beforehand. And so you have a bit of information about where you're going, what you're doing, because you know you're going to get the question, oh, you're in real estate. What's going on with this market? How are you going to answer that? You know, how informative can you be, right? And in that particular scenario, it's not like, well, let me get back to you. It's, hey, like, so do that, use that research, you know, go in and check and see what's going on. Because consumers want to deal with the person that has the information. And if you're not that person, we just showed how quickly the tools are there to help you. Because when you use that AI or you go into the board information, use that AI information. It's there. Okay, so, you know, so there's no excuse to say, well, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what's, you know, I really am not up to date. It's right on your phone. Okay, who's got new listings? Nasir, you got a new listing.
Yep.
What do you got?
Burlington House, 1.659. 3,000 square feet plus 1,400 square foot basement, very done up. This guy was Farnbrook's contractor when the houses were being built. So it's his own house, and he's done amazing job with the, I think you may have seen the video or whatever.
Yeah.
Virtual tour. So we're doing an offer date, which I don't know if we'll get it, but we'll try. On the 19th, the following Tuesday. So last Wednesday at the meeting, I told you I'm gonna go meet them. His own sister is a realtor. They have a listing in Brampton for under her, you know. So they wanted to meet me because they said, we want to talk to you. And they were referred to me by my client who lives down the street, who I sold in 2005, a property, which is a sister of the Lakeview property, because she was so impressed how I worked there. She recommended me to them.
Good.
Here's a funny story. My sign went up yesterday. One of my cousin knows, she lives next door to that house. And she tells the owner, that's my cousin. And then and when my client gave me the name, I'm trying to think which cousin, I'm trying to remember.
Which cousin?
No, I mean, I
Is
don't
she
even,
in your database, your cousin?
she obviously bought it with somebody else, that property.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
bought it from Farnbrook, I think.
Yeah.
Originally.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, but I'm gonna reach out to her now, like, you know,
Yeah.
find her.
Because
But it's amazing how small this world is.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And so again, go through your database, make sure it's full of the people that should be in it.
so on Wednesday, when I went for the first meeting, I told them, like, and I knew because they already told me that my other listing is with my sister-in-law.
Yeah,
So I said, whether you use me or not, I'll walk through your property, I'll give you ideas, what the value. I already emailed them the day before, everything they needed. And then when I sat about an hour and a half with them, went through all the, it became a little personal because then they're starting telling us, so, we have to downsize because my son going to university and all that. So you have to be with them at that level, like down to earth and emotional support, if you want to call it. So they gave me all the things they've gone through in life. Literally, they were opening up. So, and then when I left, I said, still, there's no hard feelings, no obligation. If you want to deal with your sister, it's your decision. I gave them my, that I've been long enough in the real estate market that I'll take care of everything. And I didn't expect it at all that they'll call me. And the next day they called me, we've thought about it, please list our property.
good, well done, okay.
And then I even again reiterated, make sure it's clear with your sister-in-law, because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to, but it's your decision anyway. And they said, sure, we've already, decided.
Great, good. Who else has a listing that's coming up or you've got?
Oh, I have a question for the two people I can see. The Crystal Cove, what's going on with, I don't think that's what it's called, but what's going on with that?
It's the Crystal Cave, and it's I have to find them 5 acres of land before they'll list that.
Okay.
There's things going on in the background that I don't want to openly discuss if this is going to be in a public forum. But yeah, as soon as I find them 5 acres, we'll be going forward with that.
And how was the festival?
It was
That you guys did.
amazing. And John stopped by. I see you're here, John.
I heard you were very popular, Nancy.
I don't know where you heard that.
Nancy, tell her the story what the little boy told you, the 8-year-old boy or 7-year-old boy. Or do you want me to tell that story?
Go ahead.
So we were in our booth, doing our thing, and a mother and 2 little boys comes walking by, and all of a sudden you hear the little boy, "That's Nancy." And the mother starts laughing, and I'm like, "What was so funny about that statement?" She says to us, "I have a story for you guys." She goes, "Every time we leave town, we see Nancy's sign, and the little boy says, 'Bye, Nancy, see you in a couple of weeks.'" She goes, "And then when we come back to town, we see the sign saying, 'Hi, Nancy, we're back again for a couple of weeks.'" So they couldn't believe they found the real live Nancy in the booth. They were just, their jaws were on the ground. It was funny.
You just made that little boy's day. Oh my God.
Oh, he's probably still talking about it. If you'd only seen the look on his face.
That's amazing. And who says branding doesn't work?
Yeah.
Well done.
It was very flattering. I'm humbled.
If you want to see Nancy go red, it was pretty quick.
And again, right, it's that being out there, right? And it takes time, but you got to be consistent. And that's what, that's what you're consistent with it. So you really everybody has to look at what are you doing to be consistent? And doesn't mean you have to do billboards, but are you getting in front of your community? Your community could be your database. Your community could be where you prospect. It could be the condo you live in. It could be whatever that community is. Are you consistently in front of it? Do they recognize you? That's worth business, okay? It takes time to build it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think it's important to volunteer in your community as well. I think that's what really can put you in the foreground of, the mind of people who are thinking about doing any kind of business is the person that's volunteering.
Yeah. No, and absolutely. But it's got to be genuine. Just don't do it thinking you're going to get business. Do it because you want to do it. You want to be involved. Right? Good. Any other questions, thoughts, listings coming up? Issues you're trying to deal with and situations? None? Okay, then send Michelle your, if you have any insight or any particular thing for AI, then we'll do our research, but we're gonna start putting together. So next week, we'll be talking about how to utilize AI. Okay,
And Nancy, can you please send me the one that you had asked about?
Yeah, for sure.
Rock.
Grok.
Thank you.
and then you've got the one that Julie was talking about.
Yep, the notebook LM.
All right. Super. Okay, well, get out there and communicate with people because there is a bit of momentum shift. Also understand that typically in a regular real estate market, activity is slower in June and July. Now, I'm going back decades, not okay. So once you start getting people back in to the city, once the kids are all of a sudden back in school, that's when you're going to see some activity pick up because the next wave of that is people looking to either buy or sell before Christmas, right? And especially if you're dealing with seniors, it's before they go to warmer weather. So keep that in mind, okay? I've already talked to a couple of my clients and they're basically says, we want to have this done so we know we're done and everything's closed before mid-November. I'm having those conversations right now. So get out and communicate, get out there, because it's starting to see where the consumers now are, especially like, you know, with the opportunity of the price that the offer I had last night, they're out there. Okay, just got to make sure you're communicating, being consistent. Thank you, everybody, for sharing and showing up. And we'll work on the agenda for next Wednesday. And if you need us, we're here anywhere in between. Thanks. See everybody later.